Okay, so
Okay.
where's
Right.
Diane?
Diane, whatever you did, do it again. I've got my wife here with me as well now, so we can.
It'll come up here. She'll
I know,
come up here.
I know. I might have. Anyway, we are. Wait. So let's just stay with us, and we will get this.
Okay,
sorted,
so Claire's back on. Claire's going to be going, oh my God.
I know. We're just trying to find.
Don't worry, Claire. I'm here.
Hello, Jodie, again. Well done. Hi, well done. Good.
Poor Jodie.
So, Diane, just if you see that live, just press it. We will get you on, I promise you.
Claire's going, right, hi.
I'm just, we've got some wonderful things to talk about, I can tell you that, because Diane is an amazing US chef, a Greek chef in the US, and has so many amazing books that she's written. So, Chris, now you're Diane.
I'm
wherever
watching,
you
I'm
were,
watching. Yeah, Diane just needs to
What?
ask again.
I need it. I actually
You
need
need a drink.
drink.
You need a drink. There she is. There she is.
There you are.
Okay, yeah. So she's there, right? Go, Diane. Yes, look, she's requested.
Now, where are you?
What is it? Your connection up here not good or something?
Okay, here
There's
we are.
Diane. There's Diane. And
Well, we're going
now
somewhere
she
in
needs to accept, and then we're good.
You'll accept, Diane.
So yeah,
You...
Diane, you need to say yes. It's connected.
There you
Yay!
are. Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay.
In your wonderful island.
I'm in my country house, far away from everything that's going on in the world.
Everything that's going on. Well, thank you for coming on. Sorry, it's been a little. Sometimes when we also go to Greece, we believe it or not, we had a couple from Greece, from some friends of mine, not on these lives, but sometimes it just takes a little while to get those connections sorted, you know?
Yeah, I mean, in Icaria, we relish the fact that there's very poor internet and phone signal. It's not a source of stress, it's a source of deep joy.
Oh, well, look, it's so lovely to see you, speak to you. And I'm so pleased that, you know, my dear friends, Bill and Pat Anton, and Billy said, you know, you need to get Diane on, you need to get Diane on. And I said, well, I would love to, Bill. So he put us in touch, and I'm really, really, really pleased. And I got some lovely questions for you. I think, first of all, we should know, am I pronouncing this right? Icaria?
It's actually Icaria.
Oh, well, there you are. Well, you sound so much.
You're forgiven.
So much nicer when you say it. And so Icaria is, I had a look yesterday because I didn't, it's quite a big island, isn't it?
It's a fairly big island. It's, I think it's like 90 square miles, maybe.
Right.
I'm not sure. I'm bad with that stuff. It takes about 2 hours to cross it from tip to tip.
Right, okay. But compared to some of them when I was looking, and it's, as I look down here, you're the nearest point to mainland over here, which is not Turkey. Is it Turkey over here? No?
Turkey is due east.
Right.
On a clear night, we can see lights along the shores of Turkey.
Right. Okay. But when I saw your email, you're in your kit. So are you writing another book? Are you doing some cooking?
I'm working on all sorts of things. I'm working on season 4 of My Greek Table, which is a show that we actually air on Amazon Prime in the UK. And I noticed recently that we had quite a lot of downloads, so that's a good thing.
Brilliant.
And, so I'm working on season 4, which will most likely be called something different, just to keep it fresh. I run cooking classes here in Icaria in the summer. Of course, this year, you know, it's all quiet. You know, the island is very quiet right now. And I'm busy. I have a shop, an online shop where I curate artisanal Greek products. I'm doing all sorts of online classes. I'm going to be starting that in the next week, in 5 or 6 days from now. So I'm busy, but no books in the work, no paper books anyway. in the world.
No, well, and so for people that don't know you on my channel, if you like, and the viewers over here, they're looking. So, I know a bit about you, and I know more about you now, and it's fantastic to have you on here. By the way, we've got my link to the US because you've had shows or you've been on TV shows, and I saw with Bobby Flay and other people, and the Today program or whichever ones that you did over there. You did quite a lot of TV in the US, and so
Bobby Flay is not a feather in my cap.
Oh, right.
I lost the Moussaka contest to an Irish guy. Is that possible?
You lost it, what?
I lost the Moussaka throwdown to an Irish guy.
Oh. What?
We were pitted against each other, and his, cumin-scented, southwestern Moussaka won.
Well, it depends who the judges were. Let's see who the judges were.
I'm joking. I've actually gone back to the show as a judge.
How funny would that? How funny would the classic Greek chef loses on a moussaka?
Who loses to a guy named Bobby Flay? I mean, really.
And so, I want to know a little bit a bit more about you. I want to know where your love for food, how many books you've written. I've seen that there's lots and lots of books that you've written. But I think I just want to go back to where we got to know each other through. And you would have been, I presume, then on the reason that. So have you been to the house at Michigan with Bill and Pat? Or how do you know Bill?
I know Bill many years ago. I got a call from a mutual acquaintance, a Greek American wine importer, and he called me. And he put the fear of God in me, and he said, Bill Anton is coming to Greece. You have to take care of him. So of course, I don't even remember. This might have even been before Google, but I sort of realized who he was. And I've been doing, and I still do quite a bit of work with the Culinary Institute of America.
Lovely,
and he, of course, is very involved with that organization. So they came to Greece, and we went to dinner, and then we met. And then we've just stayed in touch over the years. I did take good care of him. He was with his wife, and we met again in Chicago a few times. We've met, I think, in New York a few times. I mean, they're kind of all over the place as well. But I've been based in Greece for the better part of my adult life, but when I am in the States, if I'm in the same city, I try to see them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, as I said, it was brilliant. I believe Billy was trying to come out. I'll lift that up a bit, actually. I believe Billy is trying to come out to Greece anyway soon. Let me just get this.
He is.
Now we are coming to Greece, by the way. We are actually going to Greece ourselves in hopefully the beginning of August. Well, we booked our flight, subject to nothing else happening. We have some fantastic friends right down on the south of the Peloponnese in Kalamata, and then go over the hills to Cardiff. I'm probably not pronouncing it right, but Kardamili.
Oh, God, that's a beautiful place.
Yeah, and that's where we're going to go. And so one of the things I'm going to ask you today is that I have been also doing lots of cooking through this weird time. I found my love for cooking again. And some of the things I've been doing, I called it a forensic moussaka. How could you have a forensic moussaka? But I was so precise with all the aubergines and the potatoes and everything else I did that I really loved it. And it's the best moussaka I've ever eaten now. I'm saying that. I haven't cooked yours, of course, or Bobby's actually, on that basis. But it was amazing. And I want to talk to you about some of that in a second as well. But let me just ask you a bit about, so the books, how many books have you written?
I've written a lot of books. If I count the Greek ones, in Greek.
I'm having a glass of bubbles. We normally
I'm drinking a very boring iced coffee.
Well, I'm having a glass of bubbles, which is normal for me.
I've written probably about 18 books, counting the Greek ones. I'm a hardworking girl.
And so where did all this happen? How did you get into this? I saw again about the restaurant in New York, and the bit I like about it, because over here in the UK, I'm very involved with Michelin. My business, and I work very closely with Michelin. We run the event called the Michelin Revelation, which is the revealing of the new Michelin star. So when I saw, was it Pilos in New, have I pronounced that right? Pilos in New York, a restaurant that you were involved in?
I've been involved with several restaurants in New York. I was involved for a long time with a very small Greek place called Pilos.
Pilos, yeah. Oh, Pilos, yeah.
Which was in the East Village. And then I was involved with a bigger place for a while called Molivos. And they're actually very well established, entrenched, restaurant operators, several places in the city.
Well, it said on one of them, Pilos had, it said Michelin recognition. And I was trying to work out, because obviously there are 3 levels of Michelin. I wondered what recognition that was, whether it was a star or whether it was, just being recognized by.
This might be something, it's not a star, that I know for sure.
Right.
I guess it's some sort of acknowledgement. I think that's an acknowledgement.
Yeah, so there are
that are not, it's not a gourmet restaurant. It's a kind of nice taverna, the food's good. If I'm not sure, I think Molivos might also have that. I'm not sure, but it's something.
You can have, it can be called a plate. So a Michelin plate is a recognition, is you're recognized, you're part of the Michelin guide, and there are 3 levels. So I just wondered, I thought that was probably the case, but that's wonderful still, because it goes, for instance, in the UK and Ireland Michelin guide, there's probably about 1,800 restaurants in 3 levels, but there's only 156 or so stars.
Right.
So restaurants come under it, but still a wonderful accolade to have Michelin, logo on your establishment being recognized.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I haven't been involved with them in a long time, but then I was with a restaurant in Boston for a while called Committee, which is also it's a big meze kind of big bar scene, but also
Pilos, somebody's just said Pilos is in the East Village. Awesome.
Yes, it's in the East.
I love it when I get all these, because I'm loving talking to you, and here we are, and people are interacting. It's really fantastic. Yeah.
And I'm in a Greek village, so
yeah, absolutely.
It's a lot prettier than the East Village.
well, unfortunately, I don't know either, but I'm absolutely seeing the pictures of where you are and your lovely island that you're on. It just sounds just idyllic right now. I don't think you could be anywhere else, and I can't wait to be down in Cardamili, where it's just super chill, really, really relaxed, and I'm so looking forward to be there. So going back to that, so these books and these restaurants, so where did it all start? Where did you find this love for food?
Well, I'm a Greek, so
well, yeah, okay, that's it then, isn't it?
That's kind of about 98% of it. I grew up in the United States. My dad was a Greek immigrant. My mom was born in New York, actually, and he was a chef.
Right.
And I'm not formally trained. It's just something I've always kind of known how to do. But I really came to it through cooking. Through writing. I was working in New York in my early 20s, and my dad had actually passed away many years before that. And one of my jobs at this magazine was editing the food column, which at the time was written by quite a well-known restaurant critic in New York, a guy named John Mariani. And he kind of took me under his wing. This is going back a long time, but one day over lunch, I happened to mention that there hadn't been a Greek cookbook published in English in about 10 years. So he introduced me to his agent. I wrote a proposal. It took about a year to sell the book. It was, I got rejected by every single publishing house in New York until one said yes. And then I came to Greece. and kind of taught myself how to cook, thinking, oh, I could do that. I could write a cookbook. I've never, really cooked that much in my life. I mean, I cook kind of basic things, but I did teach myself how to cook, and I had literally nightly dinner parties for a year with, we're still married, but we're not exactly married. I was married to an artist at the time, so I had very critical guests every night for dinner.
And so this is the bit in Greek food. Now, I'm a chef from years ago. I've rekindled my love through COVID of food. I've just done my 85th cooking video online, and I'm loving food again, loving it. It's just the thought of coming to Greece and seeing the produce and going to the market and just seeing tomatoes, is already getting me excited. Now, bit that I haven't quite worked out with Greek food, because I am going to do some cooking when I'm out there, and I am going to do some different dishes. Now, and the other bit about the bit where you're in the blue zone, you're in this blue zone area, is that right? In blues, which we're talking about this way of food. It's the most healthiest, best food in the world, or the most nutritionist food in the world. Am I right?
Yes, Ikaria is a blue zone, which is a handful of places around the world where the longevity statistics are kind of off the charts high. And diet has a lot to do with it, but so does not stressing out about anything.
Well, you look very unstressed, I can tell you that. And but the blue zone area, so you need to tell me a bit more about the blue zone area, because I have some other super friends who there's an Anton that's joined. I wonder if that's an Anton.
I don't know, maybe I don't.
Now, I wonder if that's an Anton for my Antons. That's really interesting.
I don't know. Anton is short for Antonopoulos, and there are a lot of them.
Well, that's Bill's name.
Bill's an Antonopoulos too.
He is.
Vasilis Antonopoulos.
Could be part of the family.
It doesn't get Greeker than that.
The blue zone. So I have some very, very good friends of mine who live in Mykonos. And I was with him in February. He was telling me all about blue zone food, blue zone area, the blue zone everything. And I haven't quite yet caught it and understand it. But I get it that stress, stress-free is a great start. But I want to go back to the food, because whenever I've been, and I've been to Greece, different parts of Greece, a dozen times, and I tend to see similar things in the restaurants, and a lot of them, if you like, let's take moussaka for one of them. I mean, there's a lot of different variations of that. And I did a pasticcio. Mm-hmm. And I did it, by the way, my pasticcio has had 240,000 views. So it's my number one dish by...
That was a live demo, a live cooking demo?
I do. It's a sort of, we do it on my Instagram account. So it's a highlight on IGTV, but it's got 240,000 views, number one. And, but I look at that food and I think, I get it. It's got, pasta, and it's got this, and it's got potatoes, and it's got mince, and it's got all of the wonderful items. But I need some more dishes, Diane. I need some more dishes that are clean. I see Greek salads, and I see beautiful salads, and I see amazing olive oil. But I haven't yet quite worked out. There's a missing link here that I haven't quite worked out in the cleanliness and the beautifulness of the produce. Because for what I've seen, and this is me asking you, sitting there right now, there's only so much you can get, and it's imported. I mean, you're living on a gorgeous island. There won't be loads and loads of meats. There might be quite a lot of fish. But tell me a bit more about the clean. I need clean to understand blue zone food. Seems to me clean and healthy and amazing and nutritional.
The cooking of Icaria is very simple for the most part. And well, I wrote a book about Icaria and the food here, and like the lifestyle and food. And one thing that struck me in speaking to people who are now almost 100 years old is that it wasn't so much about what they were eating. It was more about what they weren't eating as they were growing up. Kind of in their formative years. Very low caloric intake. A lot of plant-based, a lot of wild food. Foraging is still a living tradition here. So outside of my own front door here, I mean, it's starting to get dry because it's the summer, but in the springtime or in the fall and winter, in a 10-foot, 3-meter radius, basically, even, maybe a little bit more than that, I have counted 30 or 40 edible wild plants in my own, kind of little garden here.
Yeah.
Those plants in a culture like the United States, they're considered noxious weeds, but the Greeks eat them and they're incredibly nutritious.
Wonderful.
Purslane is one of them. I have purslane just growing wild in flower pots.
Oh, somebody bought me some the other day. Hello, come on, don't go, don't leave me, don't leave me. Hang on a second. Diane, there you go. Heart attack.
So I think wild food is definitely something that was always very important in this diet. It's also, you have to look at it holistically because it was also a way that people exercise naturally. It's a way that people also exercise naturally. If you're walking in the woods in, November and December, and you're foraging for mushrooms. There are a lot of mushrooms on the island. You're walking, you're moving, you're looking up, you're looking down, you're bending, there's a lot of physical activity. It's subtle, but you're still moving.
So is it the vegetable? I want to understand. I'm trying to just get the deeper bit. You've written 18 books. You said in both Greek and English, I suppose, or
including one called The Greek Vegetarian.
Well, okay. So is it this vegetarian diet that that runs along, that is clean? I'm trying to think of for me, longevity would be clean food. It just seems
food. I mean, the Greeks eat a lot of cheese. They eat a lot of meat, unfortunately, for better or worse. Now they eat a lot of meat. But the plant-based diet is also very entrenched because people still abide by the fasting periods here, which means that for half the year you're off anything that comes from an animal, dairy and meat.
Okay.
And there are a lot of regional recipes. I can name a few that just come to mind. I mean, there's some very interesting recipes with names that are meant to remind one of meat. So there's this dish, for example, from the island of Limnos called pseudo petino, which means fake rooster, and it's an aubergine and pasta dish. There's a wonderful recipe, and I have it in one of my books. I think I don't remember which one, maybe in the most recent one, My Greek Table book. It's a recipe for keftedes, the classic meatballs.
Yeah.
Made with ground walnut as a replacement for ground meat. And that's not a novel solution to a, sort of a fashionable trend. That's something that's been around for a long time. It's an old recipe. All sorts of really interesting stuffed vegetable dishes, stuffed leeks, where you pull apart the layers of the leek. I mean, it's very painstaking, but delicious. Stuffed onions. I mean, things that we always think of stuffed tomatoes and peppers, but, some more delicate vegetables.
I love the idea of stuffed onions.
Oh, they're fabulous.
What a great idea. I mean, I haven't even thought about.
They're absolutely delicious and
how you
sweet and succulent.
Just half what you take out the center, you just in half and take out the center bits or something?
It depends. Typically, you do it with a specific variety of onion, and you blanch it in the beginning, and then you scoop out the center. But essentially it's the whole onion. That's one version. Then there's another version where you're peeling away the onion layers and making, as you would say, a dolma, dolma, like
yeah. I love them.
You're doing tiny stuff.
Oh, and you're wrapping them.
They almost look, imagine sort of like a pasta shell, except it's an onion.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of really interesting regional recipes. There's also incredibly good food. Athens is an amazing food city. It's vibrant. It's very inexpensive. Incredible value for money. I was sitting in. I like to say that I live in the gastronomic village on the island of Ikaria because we have two really good restaurants.
And well, you're there.
And I'm from this village, and funnily enough, as is often the case at Greek villages, half the people have the same surnames. So the two of those restaurants, we're all distant cousins, and we all have the same surname. But I had one of them, last night, and I had, the food was really good. It was more gourmet. It was, beautifully presented and just excellent food. But there's an incredible wealth of regional plant-based food in Greece and just regional food in general. But in going back to what makes it so good, I mean, part of it is just that sheer variety. Greece has a very rich flora. So there's a lot of wild food, and B, there's just a love of this incredibly good produce. But there's also the Mediterranean diet aspect of it, which means that people respect ingredients in season. So in the wintertime, you don't hanker after a tomato salad. You go for a cabbage salad, or you go for boiled greens, or you go for, something in the brassica family. You don't want to eat tomatoes in January.
I was speaking to somebody. Who asked me? Sorry, I'm just trying to think now. Somebody said to me, we were talking about produce yesterday and about how years and years ago here in England, you obviously couldn't get strawberries in December. You only had strawberries in end of May, June, and a bit of July because they were English strawberries. That's when they came out. And asparagus in May and June a bit probably, and that's how you used to work. And maybe in those days there were less allergies and all of the other things that are going on today. Who knows? I don't want to get into that one. But what you're saying is so correct, as in eat within the seasons, and the seasons will look after you. Because if you're eating salads in the winter, you need wholesome food in the winter, of which Greece has a lot of, and they're the sort of dishes that you think about. And again, I'm coming back to that sort of bit about my knowledge of Greek food, which isn't good, which is why I love learning about food again at my age. I learned about food when I opened my first restaurant at 24 until 40 something, and then I came out of the kitchen and went into the front, and now I found my love of learning about food again. But I think a lot of us will think of Greek food as that, as the bechamels and the pastas and the mince and whether it's the pastichos or whether it's the moussakas or whether it's this, and then alongside that are some salads. Well, actually, I think I've got to get more out of this and understand more about it, and understand about. I did a wonderful charred courgette salad the other day with some pine nuts and some basil and some mint, or I forget exactly what it was, but and alongside that was a lot of Greek salads that went with very similar things for zucchinis and everything else, which was lovely. And so it's understanding. Now tell me the blue zone bit. Where is the blue zone? I mean, give us more about the blue zone. Where does this start?
The blue zone the term was coined by a guy named Dan Buettner, who wrote the book called The Blue Zones, or the books, I guess now.
Diane, somebody just said, somebody there, I can't, Aria, anyway, whoever you
Aria,
are,
sorry,
yeah, she's loving watching your travels and your cooking, and everything else, which is lovely. Hi.
Dan gathered a group of scientists and demographers, from what I know, and I guess started studying the longevity numbers all over the world and came across
Right.
which, I mean, when there was a New York Times, a front page magazine article, this was maybe 8 or 10 years ago, and we were all really upset about that. I mean, the Icarian community in the United States, the phones were on fire. Oh my God, it's over.
They're all going to come to you.
The secret's out of the bag. It's over. It's never going to be the same. And in some ways that's true, but it's also still very much a beautiful backwater. But the term actually comes from, they actually had a map of the world, and they circled with a blue pencil the areas where the longevity statistics were inordinately high. And
Right.
where the term blue zones come from. They were physically circled with a blue pen or a blue pencil.
Fantastic.
And Dan is a marketing genius, and I think he saw the value in that very simple, evocative term. And
I mean, it's simple, isn't it? When you look around the world at the people living the longest, that's got to be the healthiest place to live. I mean, when you put it like that, now obviously there could be many, many other statistics and other bits and pieces put together to create that. But how are there many islands in this? I mean, I presume it's an area that's a big circle, or is it just around?
I mean, I think these are fairly narrow. They're narrowly defined places. It's Ikaria in Greece, the mountainous part of Sardinia, Calabria, Okinawa, and Yorma Lunda, California.
Wow.
I think it's.
Oh my gosh. So it's just your island.
And Costa Rica.
Right.
In Greece, it's just my island. I mean, that's not to say that people don't live a long life in other parts of Greece. In small villages, people live a very similar, life. But I think what makes Ikaria unique is that it's never had any significance. So people learn to be independent here, and they're incredibly self-sufficient. And because they are self-sufficient, they also have a certain dignity that comes with how can I put this? Their dignity doesn't come from wealth. It just comes from being human, having enough to live on, having enough to offer somebody when you have a guest who comes over,
Oh my God.
being autonomous, kind of being the king of your little domain.
Yeah.
It might be a very impoverished domain, but you're not reliant on anyone. And
Wow. I mean, it just sounds so idyllic, doesn't it? Is that you just live, and you can go out and pick from the fields, or from 3 or 4 meters from your door, and you just, as you say, you're sort of stress-free. What about, I know that in Greece, certainly down on the south of the Peloponnese, many, many years ago in Greece, the fishing was, years ago, didn't they dynamite or something years and years ago, which affected the fish stocks? But what's the fish like and the catch like from where you are? Is it plentiful, or is it the same? Or?
I mean, the waters around Ikaria are renowned for their it's rough sea. That also plays into some of the island's history, because it was also, at least since the Byzantine era, it had been a place of exile, because you got here and you couldn't get off. It was always very rough and windy, and it still is, but because it's all open sea. But the fish is very good. I mean, there's all sorts of things. not small fish so much, not sardines. I mean, that we don't have a lot of bays and coves. It's more
You have,
deep
do
water.
you have smoke? Do you have octopus? I
We
know
have
that.
octopus,
I
deep water.
love those. We go to a restaurant, and I can't remember it. I should have found it, shouldn't I? I should have. We go to a restaurant all the way along the coast, so past Stupa and all along there. And there's a fish restaurant right. If you know it, I mean, I'm telling you now, but there are some caves along on the bottom of that Cardamili coast, whatever I am. Anyway, there's some amazing caves, and wherever they are, there's a fish restaurant. And my dear friends Ilya and Jerry will be telling me off for not mentioning it because I can't remember what it's called now. But on there, then you have all the octopus just hanging, and then they grill it, and oh my goodness me, it's amazing, amazing.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's really good, and I can see that. And as you say, you have the salad, and even if you have potatoes, they seem to all be cooked in olive oil, and they're the best chips I've ever eaten in my whole life. So you can see I'm a massive fan of Greece all over, but I've just got to get some more. I'm going to look at some of your books. Somebody here, Gina, John and Teresa, said my mother was. They said that their mum ate hot dogs until she was 100.
Well, I have to say, so did mine. Mine lived on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and Entenmann's crumb cake. And she
Right.
would be 95. She was never sick a day in her life. She was a tiny woman, very petite, and had an awful diet. But we don't want to recommend that. Okay.
And my mother's 87, and she will not drink. She won't drink water. She won't eat vegetables. I've been cooking for her. She's never looked better, by the way. And the last time she was ill is when somebody put ice in her drink, so she never has ice either. Never have ice. So what is next for you, Diane? What is life going? How do you go forward? And just a matter of interest, I imagine, because Greece has been. It would be the word, it wouldn't be fabulous with COVID, but I mean, you've had very little COVID in Greece at all. Oh, by the way, here we are. Hi, Dan, my hubby, and I love your show and the way you present
Thank
our
you.
quiz. That's nice. And so I presume where you are, there's been no COVID at all, or any?
I mean, it's spiking a little bit now because we've opened the borders. I think there were 58 cases yesterday. Half of them from
In Greece?
In all of Greece, half of them from incoming, visitors at the borders. A lot of it in the north. I mean, the Greeks. Look, this is a culture where we really take care of the old, and a lot of families, many families still, live with their parents or grandparents. They're part of the family. And I think that was a tremendous motivating factor. Just you don't want to lose your parents and grandparents. They're still very valuable members of society, and I think that people really. I was in New York during COVID, the height of COVID. I was in Jackson Heights, Queens, which was one of the epicenters, so much so that there's now herd immunity in that area.
Right, yeah.
It was just in the New York Times a few days ago, and it was really insane. There were sirens, ambulances 24/7, lines go get tested, that were snaking around the hospital 3-4 times. I mean, I was asking myself, like, where am I? What?
Yeah, I mean, well, we haven't done. We equally have, had a poor results in how dealt with it. I think that the truth will come. You've got the US, you've got us, and many others. The truth will come out as we go many years on, probably.
I mean, I think here people they just said, fine, we'll stay home. We'll stay home for 3 months. I mean, it was a very central. They listened to the scientists. They didn't berate them. They didn't degrade them. They respected the word of the Greek equivalent of Anthony Fauci, and people really took it seriously. you know, we'll see what the summer brings. I mean, I think people are still quite, you know, protective. I mean, my neighbors are in their late 80s, and I saw them. We passed each other on the road yesterday, and I said I was waiting for about, you know, at least 10 days before I come to see you after getting off the boat. And she said, "Wait, it's okay, wait. Welcome, but wait, don't come over."
Have you only just arrived there then? Have you
I
just come?
arrived in Icaria a few days ago.
All right.
I was in
And
Athens.
this,
I arrived in Athens in mid-May. It was extremely organized. They tested us as soon as we landed. They sent us to a hotel for 24 hours. We were tested negative. We were sent home. We had to quarantine for 2 weeks. I mean, I think it's a bit different now. It's a little bit more relaxed, but
right.
you know, they're testing. They're spot
Yeah.
testing, and
Yeah.
they're keeping track. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, we have, you know, to wear masks in every shop and all that. And I'm very happy about that. I went to do some shopping this morning for some food, and I'm very comfortable wearing a mask in a shop. It doesn't, I feel actually much safer with it on, just because I keep my distance, and I sort of feel that that's probably all you can really do, and wash your hands and do everything else we do. But you're there, and is this your, by the way, is this, you have obviously a house there, but is this where was this your family home? Was this family island, or is this somewhere that you have decided to go to?
No, this is my family island. I mean, my parents were both from here. My mom was born in the States, but my maternal grandfather was from the island, and my father was born on the island. And I've been coming here since I was a kid. The first time I came, I couldn't speak a word of Greek. It was a long time ago.
It's not
50 years
easy
ago.
language. I know.
And I totally got it. I said, this place is paradise. Don't tell anyone, you know.
Well, I mean, yeah, I know you're only 21, and you look amazing. So I just had a wonderful email from one of my winning young chefs. I run a competition called Young Chef, Young Waiter, and he just said, "Look, I've got to go out, but it's been fantastic listening to you both." Diane, thank you so much. I mean, your plan is what now? I saw in your email that you said you just produced a beautiful new kitchen in your house there. Are you now to do more books, or are you going to do some more filming, or?
I'm hoping to do some more filming. I still have a lot of television left in me. I love doing it. I mentioned we're on Amazon Prime in the UK, so if anyone wants to watch, please do.
Oh, we will, yeah. And what is that? Is that under your name, or?
It's called My Greek Table.
My Greek Table.
My Greek
Okay,
Table.
brilliant. Well, I'm going to watch that because I've got to do some dishes, Diane. I am going to cook some Greek dishes. I've only done a few. I want to get the Blue Zone hit. I need to understand how everyone is living to 100. I need to live to 100. So I need to understand what I've got to do to get it right. But I'm going to watch some of that. I can't wait.
No, you have to come to Icaria and cook with me one summer.
Wouldn't that be, well, you've now just already, so that's a tick that we've got to do. We've got to organize it when we can all travel over there. You know, you know, Bill is a great mate, and he has so many fantastic relationships and connections. And one of my dearest friends, who I'm going to do a live with on Monday, is Thomas Keller, and I can't wait to just talk like this, you know, with Thomas, who for all of us is on another level all over again. You know,
Oh, yeah.
we you know, he is recognized as one of the best, and so I'm super excited about speaking to him. And we've had some of the UK's, you know, best chefs on this live. It's something that very few people are doing, so I'm super happy to do it. And it's just been an absolute pleasure to see you, to talk to you, and to understand a bit more about some Greek food. And I've got to do, well, I'm going to tell you when I'm doing it in Greece, and I'm going to have the beautiful sea, and I can already picture the view. I mean, you don't have to do much camera work there. You just cook with the sea behind you and the hills. It'll be just stunning.
It's It is very, Kardamili is one of the most beautiful places in Greece.
It's so, so pretty. And it's one of those places, they probably don't want me to say this, a bit where you are in Akiria. Have I got it right?
Almost.
It's very quiet, you know. Now, they probably don't want me to say keep it quiet, but it is quiet and it's lovely. And it's, you know, you really can take a small bag with you and just wear shorts every day. And it's very, very relaxed, you know. And you sleep so well.
You sleep very well.
I mean, I don't know what it is about what happens. I think I used to say to Ilya, it's either the ouzo that you're giving me at lunchtime, which is just killing me in the afternoon, or it's just the air, but you sleep so well. I can't believe it.
Yeah, Greece is a beautiful place. It's very,
Yeah.
you know, it's
He said, where is Kardamili?
You feel very much alive when you're here.
Kardamili, by the way.
Don't
hi.
don't say where it is.
Say. I can't. It's down the south.
It's
on the mainland. I'll just say it's on the mainland. Diane, it's been fantastic. Thank you so much for this time.
Share this on my Instagram.
It'll be on my Instagram, and then if you go to Claire, she can put all this on, and you can post it on yours as well.
Okay, great. I will do that.
All right, darling.
Okay, thank you so much. This was fun.
It was fun, and it's great and your reception's been brilliant. I've always worried when we go off to different places, but it's fantastic. Actually, I remember once being up a mountain in Greece, not far from Galway, and the signal was like five star, you know, five, not stars, but whatever it was, full signal is what I'm trying to say. And then I was on Park Lane in London about a week later and had no signal. And I thought, how can I be up a mountain in the middle of nowhere in Greece and I could be here in Park Lane in London and I can't get a signal? But anyway, it's been wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, and enjoy that wonderful blue zone and keep it quiet. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.